Alright, you maniacs, here we go, as promised. A midweek update. So I hope you guys are happy. Things have calmed down in my area. Now it's just kind of a maintenance period that I'm in right now with the stuffing. And just trying to get over the whole election thing. And it's been exhausting. And it's probably because I went to work. I didn't stay home and cry. Alright? Alright. I didn't have a therapy dog. I didn't get any Play-Doh to play with. I was out working like the rest of us, right? Alright. And I'm never going to give anybody any kind of parenting advice because I don't have children of my own. Far be it from me to tell anybody how to raise their children. And I really don't even want to. However, if your child is wallowing in the despair of the election, you're going to have a little bit of a problem when something really bad happens, alright? Just saying. Just saying. So maybe you want to talk a little bit, straighten some things out, get everything leveled out, see how that goes. Tell them it's going to be alright. Just like that. It's going to be alright. Alright? Alright. Couple other things we're going to talk about. I'm going to talk about the whole Trump thing a little bit, because I did vote for Trump. However, there's a backstory to this. I had voted for yeah, I can't even talk. I had voted for Hillary in the past. 2 other elections I actually wrote her name in because I thought she was the best candidate. Now, I haven't always voted in the past, but I thought a few of these past elections have been very important. I wanted Bush out of there. I wrote Hillary in one time for that. And I wrote her in on another time. I think I wrote her in actually for the second Obama election. I was actually excited for Obama. I thought there was going to be a lot of positive change, and that certainly has not happened. The country is divided more than ever now during his reign. I don't know what that's from. Maybe it's the economy, maybe it's a combination of a bunch of things. The whole police thing has been a disaster, but he hasn't really done anything to bring people together as far as I can see. Now, I'm looking at it through my eyes. I'm sure looking at it through the eyes of an African American, it's completely different, which I can empathize with because I just don't have those eyes. I have to look at it through the way that I look at it, and I'm sure African Americans are upset. They have every reason to be. I'm not going to tell you not to be upset. I'm not going to even tell you that you're wrong to be upset. I can see why, but you also have to see, some of our sides of it. I think that if more African Americans had gone out to vote like they did for Obama, maybe Clinton would have got in. But such is not the case. So Trump is in. I just got to get over it at this point. And doing it after the fact really doesn't help. It doesn't do anything. You should have done this before to get the interest generated in the voting process. Now, like I said, I haven't always voted in the past, so I don't complain when I don't vote. But you can't complain if you didn't vote. Colin Kaepernick is a prime example. He's the one that's been going around complaining about some kind of a change. If Clinton was his candidate, he should have showed it. He should have went and voted. So, I don't really want to get into it too much because pretty much everything has already been said, but there's a couple of double standards there with Hillary got into when Trump started slinging mud, Hillary started slinging back. Had she been the way she was the way she was with her speech after the election was the Hillary that we all wanted to see. And so was Trump. Trump in his speech after the election was very gracious, very humble. Now, if those two people had showed up, those after speech people had showed up during the election, it might have been a much more cohesive nation as far as the election goes. But it ended up being a nation divided, and the people that went out and voted won. She may have had the popular vote, but she ended up getting beat at her own game. Sanders had the popular vote, but he didn't get in because she had the electoral votes. Well, Trump had the electoral votes, and she doesn't get in. So it ended up coming to bite her in the butt. But if those two people in the aftermath, after the election, had been that way during the election, I think things would have been a lot different. And it would have been just as close, probably. Because I don't think Trump is the way that he is. I think he does that. He was, he found a niche. He found a niche of people that were looking for a change in immigration and stuff like that. And he was acting on that. Whenever he's in front of a TV camera, he tends to act. And Hillary got involved in that. Had she been more like, okay, well, you can say what you need to say, and I'm just going to wrap my arms around the American people and, and heal, things really would have been different. So, but she got caught up in the mudslinging. She ended up running down his rabbit hole, and he poked his head out and won. She ended up staying down there. Not much more you can say than that. So I hope that we can all just, pretty much heal and move on as a nation. And let's see, maybe he will bring some positive change. Hopefully he will. That's all we can hope for. I mean, the way I look at it, one of the reasons why I never vote is things really don't change as far as that goes, because politicians have always been dirty. They start slinging mud right from the get-go whenever they're involved in a campaign. The next thing you know, they're hugging the people that they were slinging the mud at, just like today. Trump and Obama were hugging it out. Obama had to hug it out with Bush. He said Bush was real gracious as far as passing the torch on to him, so he felt like he needed to be gracious in passing the torch on to Trump. And after two very, pretty mean campaigns that went on, that's what you got to do. You got to heal and move on and see what happens. Hopefully something good's going to come out of this. I'm just going to end it there, I think. I'm not really going to get much into it. When you get into sports, you got coaches that lying all the time. You had somebody like Nick Saban who said yesterday that he said, well, to be honest, I didn't even know that it was election day yesterday. Really? You didn't know it was election day? I mean, your wife didn't say anything to you? I'm sure your wife said a little something to you. Really? Come on, Nick. That's what I mean. These people, people in power, that's what they do. They lie. And that's, you really can't get around that. Alright, so let's move on to some positive things. Coming off of Halloween, I was kind of wondering whatever happened to the Baby Ruth bar. What happened to that thing? I love the Baby Ruth. The one time I looked to the Baby Ruth is during Halloween. The other one I'm looking for was the 100 grand, the 100 large, the 100 towels, as you would put it. The 100 towels. Whatever happened to the 100 towels? Want to know what happened to that. The O. Henry bar, another good one. Another very good candy bar. Want to know what happened to that. And then two sugary confections that I love. The bottle cap. Now I know you can get the bottle cap in a spree like you know what I'm talking about. They're small, alright? You can find them now, but bottle caps used to be nice and big. As were Wacky Wafers. Can anyone tell me where Wacky Wafers are? I love the Wacky Wafer, especially the watermelon one. Love it, love it. So if anybody knows what happened to these candy bars, please send me a tweet, a Facebook message, where I might be able to find these things, because they are fantastic confectionery delights that I'm sure you guys love too. Maybe you're wondering where they are. I know I am. You find them, you let me know. Alright, so let's move on to I don't think I got anything else. Yeah, World Series we already talked about. Hey, one World Series fact that I neglected to to bring up. There was a wild pitch in that last game where 2 runs scored on a wild pitch, which is highly unusual. But the last time that happened in a World Series where a wild pitch led to 2 runs was in 1911. And I can't remember the name of the 2 teams. One of them I think was the A's, but they weren't in Oakland. They were somewhere else. The pitch was thrown by a pitcher named Rube Marquard. I think Marquard was the guy in The Green Mile, I believe. Name wasn't Rube, but it was Marquard, something like that. So Rube throws the pitch, and his catcher, his name was Chief Snodgrass. If you go look at the 1911 lineups of people, they have some fantastic names that just aren't around anymore. One of them being Rube. There's actually 2 Rubes on that team. So the pitch gets by Chief Snodgrass, and the reason 2 runs scored was because he refused to actually go get the pitch. So it was kind of like a Bad News Bears thing where the kid was holding the ball, only he doesn't have the ball, and people just running around the bases at will. So, kind of funny. I thought that was kind of a fun fact out of the World Series. So I guess that's it. Please be good to each other. And let's move on from this disaster. And let's get on to the football, people. Alright, 2 weeks ago I was 2-2. Last week I was 3-3. So 5-5 for that 2-week period, bringing my total to 27, 16, and 1. Not too bad. Still 11 games over 500 if you haven't done the math. So this week, people, we are going to put our red panties on, and I'm going to slap some people right in the face with money. Those of you who are Conor McGregor fans know what I'm talking about. We're going to slap some people right in the face with a whole bunch of money. I got a bunch of picks for you. Jimmy Kors, I hope you're listening. Or I hope you do listen. Hopefully you'll get it by tomorrow morning so you can do your slips. Alright? Because I got a bunch of them for you so you can maneuver around here. Maybe do a couple 4-teamers or something like that and do one nice giant one. You too, Freddie. And Johnny Ack. Franco, Eddie Boy, all you people checking in. Alright, first game we're going to do is Carolina at home, -3 over Kansas City. I like Kansas City. I think they're a good team. I've been on them for a while. I think it's just time to switch over. So I'm going to take Carolina -3 over the Kansas City Chiefs. Carolina is at home again. I'm going to say it again. By the 2.5, by the 2, whatever you got to do. Get it under 3. Please. Alright, Rams +2 at the Jets. I want you to buy up. Buy up to +3. I'm going to take the Rams +2, move it up to +3. +3.5 would be even better. Be very nice. Get it cleared 3.5. Might be very important. 4 would be even better if you can get to 4. It's 2 points. You're going to pay a lot of money for it, but you're probably going to pay -150, somewhere -155, maybe only 160 on that one, because -4 is a very nice number. All right, Rams +2 at the Jets. I like the over in the Atlanta-Philadelphia game, over 50 in the Atlanta-Philadelphia game. I like Washington -2.5. Again, make it -2 if you can. At home for Minnesota, and yes, I know that's my team. We're talking about money here. I don't care about loyalties are right out the window when it comes down to money. Well, especially when it comes to betting anyway, all right? Washington -2.5 at Minnesota. We're gonna ride the J train, and we're gonna take Miami +4 at San Diego. Like that. Love the J train. J train's a cool dude, man, and a beast of a runner. He's fire and ice all rolled up into one, or thunder and lightning, however you want to put it. Dallas. This is a sucker game. I don't know why Dallas is an underdog at Pittsburgh. They should be, at the very least, they should be -1, -2, somewhere in that area, maybe even -3. But they're getting 2.5, and again, get it up to +3, +3.5, even better, at Pittsburgh. probably going to lose that one because I took Pittsburgh to win last week and they got beat. I'm taking Pittsburgh to lose this week, so they'll probably win. I'm not good with Pittsburgh, but I keep going there because I'm trying to get better at it. All right, so Dallas plus 2.5 at Pittsburgh. New England -7. I'm going to keep betting New England until they don't win or they don't cover. And you might get both this week, but I'm going to keep doing it. They've been solid. They don't like Seattle. They love beating up on Seattle if they can. Seattle's probably going to keep it close. They'll probably keep it within the number, but it's -7. So get it down to -6, -6.5, whatever you got to do. -6 would actually be the best one. That's probably what they're going to win by. So New England -7 at home to Seattle. I'm going to give you a rare Monday night pick. It's a bonus pick. I will count it in the things. I'm going to take the Jais, the Gents, -1 at home over Cincinnati. Cincinnati is not good in these primetime games. They never have been. And I'm sure the game is already off. I like Cleveland +7 tonight. They might actually win this game tonight. So there you have it. You got Carolina -3, Rams +2. The over in the Atlanta-Philadelphia game, over 50 in the Atlanta-Philadelphia game. Washington -2.5. Miami +4. Dallas +2.5. And New England -7, with your bonus pick being the Jais -1 at home on Monday night. Once again, people, be good to each other. These picks are absolutely free. Absolutely free. Absolutely free. The one to turn to. Have a good night.